Since Alex Haklo and Magnus Granier invented swerve skiing, the question arises, how do you even learn this type of skiing? In this video we'll break down swerve skiing step by step to turn you from a complete beginner to someone who knows much about swerve skiing, has the right equipment, and is even be able to impress their friends at the snow park. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. First, let's answer the question, what even is swerve skiing? Swerve skiing is the type of skiing where you see people transition smoothly between butters, like tail and nose butters. So it looks like they're basically gliding on their tips. Let's go to the core, how you must set yourself up to even be able to do swerve skiing really well. First, you need skis that are not too stiff. I myself made countless mistakes in choosing the wrong ski because I always ended up with a stiffer ski than I actually expected, because I always heard to the marketing fluff that almost sellers made up with, like, our skis has a soft flex and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely be patient when making your own decisions in the future so you don't end up with something that is stiff. Yeah, to avoid this problem, I suggest that this might sound crazy at the moment, but trust me, go in a free skiing store or just a normal ski store depending on where you live, and simply the purpose of this visit is that you basically find your potential skis. It doesn't really matter if it's 2 or 5 or how many. So you find your favorite skis in the store. Let's say, for example, it's 2 skis that are your favorite, and then you basically bend the ski one by one after one. So one by one after, so you can judge by yourself which one of the 2 you found easier to bend. And don't make the mistake by choosing a ski just because someone told you that they're easy to bend. Instead, have the skis right in front of you and bend them to actually prove that they have a soft flex. Now to the ski boots. Here are many different opinions, because some say you need hard boots to make good butters, while others recommend softer ones because you basically wear them all day in the park. To be honest, I am much more in the second group that recommend you to buy softer ski boots, because the problem with stiffer ones is, as I already mentioned, if you are all day long in the park practicing, they can get inconvenient, and for that reason I always recommend softer boots, especially if you put much pressure on the front and back part of the ski boot, so you don't have leg pain afterwards in the evening. But in my opinion, I would suggest you guys to build your own opinion about that. But yeah, most people actually don't use poles in swerve skiing. I think it's a mix of various reasons. One, since your intention is to do crazy butters, poles can get in the way when performing such movements. But also others wear baggy pants, and for style reasons they deny to use poles because it doesn't match their style, which is completely fine. The second part of the video is about how to perform it and what progressions you can use to learn this type of skiing. I would say the first progression that you learn is how to ride switch and even master taking turns when riding switch, because all of that will help you when performing swerve movements, because you are rotating also when doing that kind of stuff. Then the second stage is to learn a tail butter and nose butter. Most people here make the mistakes that they have their bindings in the wrong place. This is important because if your bindings are too much back in the back, you are unknowingly making it harder for yourself to perform nose butters. I would suggest for most people that they locate their bindings in the dead center, so right in the middle of the ski. To be honest, I think it's even better to put it too much to the front rather than putting it back, because when performing manuals, performing manuals is much easier rather than nose butters, I meant to say. When your bindings is in the front, you have less distance to your nose and therefore it's easier to make nose butters. I try to share all my knowledge right here with you guys so I can save you years of frustration and wrong decisions so you can progress much faster. Another thing is the ski width. I would suggest for swerve skiing that you don't choose too wide ski, because more width means more material under you, so it's harder to perform swerve movements. Ski edges I covered just shortly because there's not much to say about it. You just need the standard 2.5 millimeter park edges and also round those edges to glide smoothly in rails. So yeah, but yeah, that's all there is to it. My top choices at the moment would be for skis: first, Lion Honey Badger; second, Armada B-Dog 94; and the third, Lion Blend. They all have stiffness level between 3 and 5, so they're actually pretty good for swerve skiing. And for the ski boots, at this moment I wear the K2 Method ski boot. So yeah, I might put also pictures in there so you can get an idea on how they look, but yeah. Also, many skiers prefer to wear baggy pants when performing such movements, because it gets more appreciation on social media when you do that. But anyways, back to the topic. After you have learned the tail butter and nose butter, you can start by learning the following trick. First, ride switch. At the same time, take a ski curve on your dominant side. What I mean by that is basically you ride switch, and then when riding switch you make a turn. And at that time, as you make the curve when riding switch, and when you're about to go normal again, like basically straight again, like at this time, what you're trying to do is try to lean back to make it the tail butter, and do not quit that tail butter, rather instead hold it for as long as possible and even build up spinning momentum with that on where you came from the turn, so you basically spin further and prepare yourself for the upcoming nose butter, because the goal of this is to transition from a tail butter to a nose butter without touching all the ski on the ground, if you know what I mean. And after you mastered the switch, turn, tail butter to nose butter, you can repeat that movement and even combine it with a very steezy outfit like baggy pants, as I mentioned earlier, to gain style points from your snowpark friends. And yeah, once you can do that, it looks really cool. But obviously take your time with each step and don't rush things. What I mean by that is get really good at manual on skis, or even try another nose butter exercise that comes to my mind. So here it gets interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Stage 1 is when you ski normal, jump 180 so you're riding switch afterwards, and jump again 180 so you're back to regular. I have a perfect B-roll that I will add exactly at this time in the video. Stage 2 is basically doing almost the same as before, but just as you jump 180 back to regular, start leaning forward and drag your noses circular to the snow, just so you can transition back to regular in a steezy way. I know it's hard to explain, sorry, but I will definitely add B-roll to that so you can understand better what I mean. Stage 3 is skip the whole jumping part and immediately try to make a nose butter when you go from regular to switch. You can even continue spinning on the nose butter when you've become really advanced. I think that's the most important things and exercises you guys need to know to get started, and since I don't want to make the tutorial for too long. And some tips for filming: if you are with friends in the snow park, ask them to film you riding after you, so you can create a follow me recording instead of using a tripod, because that makes it look less epic and gets you less engagement and on social media also, I've noticed. And remember, always try to wear a helmet even if the trick might seem simple. Don't think every time when practicing, I don't ever need a helmet for that. But anyways, I hope you guys found this guide helpful in some way, and if you have any questions left, you can always reach out to me on social media or in the comment section. Doesn't really matter where. And also subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss similar content in the future. So yeah, peace.